Well, hello, Davenport. Mike Matson here, Mayor Davenport, with my lovely wife, Trish, to talk about the state of our city. We want everybody to work together to help make Davenport a safe, stable, and welcoming community. We are here to work for you. I'd like just to take a moment now and introduce your city leaders, your Davenport City Council. Our two aldermen at large are Kyle Grip and JJ Condon. They represent all of the city of Davenport. Kyle Grip was elected in 2016, and Alderman at large JJ Condon was elected in 2018. Both of these gentlemen serve all of our citizens in Davenport. Our first ward alderman is Rick Dunn. He was elected in 2014. He serves the southwest portion of Davenport as well as parts of the west side of Davenport. It's kind of starting at the western city limit, east to Waverly, from Duck Creek south to the Mississippi River. The second ward alderwoman is Maria Dickman, elected in 2016. She serves the northwest corner of Davenport from the north and west city limits to North Pine Street and parts of Division, with Duck Creek and parts of Central Park as its southern borders. The second ward is made up of agricultural land, but includes the West Kimberly Business Corridor and many neighborhoods such as Heatherton and those around Northwest Park. Your third ward alderwoman is Mary McGinnis. Elected in 2017 via a special election, she serves a majority of the historic parts of Davenport, including the entire downtown and parts of the Hilltop Campus Village. The fourth ward alderman is Ray Ambrose, elected in 1996, longest serving elected official on the council with 24 years of service. Serves the central part of the city from Central Park to around 11th Street and the Locust Street corridor. Your fifth ward alderman is Matt Dorman, elected in 2020, serves much of the southeast and east side of the city, covers an area around Brady Street to Jersey Ridge and Duck Creek south. Your sixth ward alderman is Ben Jochen, elected in 2020, serves the most eastern part of the city from Jersey Ridge to the city limits and the northern city limits to the Mississippi River. The seventh ward alderman is Patrick Peacock, elected in 2020, serves kind of the central part of Davenport from Division Street to Eastern Avenue and 53rd to the southern boundary of Central Park. The eighth ward alderwoman is Judith Lee, elected in 2020. Alderwoman Lee serves the north central part of Davenport, starting from 53rd to the northern city limits and around Pine Street to Jersey Ridge. So these are your leaders. They each represent a part of the city and are dedicated to the growth and prosperity of Davenport. Davenport, we've done a lot of great things this year. You need to be proud of what's going on in your city. As one of the responses to COVID-19, we implemented here in Davenport a tenant-based rental assistance program. What it does is repurpose federal funding to respond to COVID-19.
The tenant-based rental assistance program is a new departure for the city. What we did in response to COVID was to provide rental assistance funding to tenants who were at risk of losing their homes and having to move out because of COVID. In repurposing these home dollars, which are usually used for housing, this was a departure for the city. Normally, these dollars are helpful in a crisis to help with properties that have been damaged as a result of the disaster. In this particular case, people's homes were not damaged, they just needed help staying in the home. So the City Council repurposed the funds for tenant-based rental assistance, and we've had overwhelming interest in the program. Over 500 applications have been received, and over the coming months, we'll be rolling those dollars out to landlords.
Davenport has amazing diversity of our neighborhoods, from downtown apartment living to grand old houses to modern subdivisions. In just the last year, we've launched programs to revitalize our neighborhoods and bring neighborhoods together. The Davenport Dream Project, aimed at rejuvenating neighborhoods through home renovations, is a project the City Council funded at $900,000 in just the first round, and was able to assist 50 homeowners with projects like new roofs, new siding, window replacements, sidewalk repairs, as well as some interior projects like floors and furnace replacement. The Dream Project just closed the second round, funding another $900,000 of home improvements into our community. Kraft Heinz began work on demolition of its former plant on West 2nd Street. This was part of the economic agreement between the city and Kraft Heinz for its new plant that's already up and running in Northwest Davenport. We look forward to its removal and the opportunity that that removal creates for our west end of downtown Davenport.
So as we stand at Vanderveer, I want to just remind you of something because maybe you've missed it. I certainly have missed it. Last year, Davenport started this initiative called Party in the Parks, and we went to about 7, 8, 9 parks, and the neighbors came together, and it was just a great experience to bring everybody together. Because of COVID, we had to postpone it. We'll see if we get a big one here maybe at the end of the year. Certainly our commitment is to continue this and do it next year.
The goal of Party in the Park was kind of twofold. It was to bring people face to face with the voices they had heard on the telephone, perhaps they had communicated with via emails, and to understand a little bit more about the programs that we have.
So Davenport, some things that I'm really proud of is our park system. Here I'm standing in the Rose Garden of Vanderveer Park. It's just a wonderful experience, beautiful roses. We have fountains and the allée. It's just a signature place to go and enjoy yourself here in Davenport. We have so many parks, so I'll encourage you now and in the future to try and hit them all. Try and enjoy the outdoors, but I want to take a moment and just draw attention to the Rose Garden in Vanderveer and a shout out to the amazing park system we have here in Davenport. Thank you.
The Development and Neighborhood Services Department in the City of Davenport provides many critical services. These include issuing building permits, doing rental inspections, doing building inspections, parking services, as well as code enforcement, zoning enforcement, and also guiding developers through developing in our city.
Davenport has made a concerted effort over the past 5 years to improve the city's financial position. The combination of our elected officials' leadership and the diligent work of the city's management team, including the finance department, has directly contributed to Davenport's strong financial position. In March, the City Council approved the fiscal year 2021 budget, which starts July 1st. This budget complies with City Council policy for reserve and liquidity targets and maintains the current city tax levy rate. The fiscal 21 budget is $230 million and focuses on frontline service delivery while addressing council priorities, including the development of a public safety analytics division, increased personnel for neighborhood services, and cybersecurity. The capital budget also includes more than $28 million for street and sewer projects. The city's unassigned fund balance is currently 24.8% and has grown substantially since 2012. The unassigned fund balance ensures that the city will be able to maintain stable city services during uncertain economic times, such as those presented by COVID-19. The fiscal 21 budget will have minimal impact on Davenport households, with the net increase in taxes and fees for a median household being $3.18. The City Council is committed to providing essential city services to our community while minimizing the impact of taxes and fees on property owners. This year, the city increased its capital improvement funding for streets and sewers by 47% as compared to fiscal year 2019. Notable projects in this year's CIP budget are the 1930s Riverfront Sewer Interceptor, the reconstruction and widening of 53rd Street from Brady to Eastern, the High Volume Street Repair Program, and the Neighborhood Street Repair Program. If you haven't already met Brad and Gia, you will soon. We're focused on great infrastructure ahead and better roads ahead, Davenport.
let's talk a little bit about sustainable infrastructure. You asked for this, we listen. Streets, sewers, neighborhood streets. That's our focus because you wanted us to do this. We increased infrastructure funding by almost 50% this year, and we look to do it again next year. We put in $28 million for projects that include 26 major roads, and let me emphasize, 41 different neighborhood streets. Your city council, myself, your city staff, listened and understood that you wanted us to get after neighborhood streets. We're doing that. So we're doing a lot of projects, so with this construction comes traffic changes. We understand that sometimes that's frustrating. So we, the city, have come up with a Better Roads Ahead communication initiative to talk to you and let you know about traffic changes in Davenport. Citizens, you will see signage providing up-to-date information on the traffic impacts. That will include text alerts, because we want to try and communicate to you what we're doing and when we're doing it. Okay, so two of the big projects that you're probably going to see a lot of work on, and I want to draw attention. First one, the 1930 Sewer Intercept project. Right behind me on our riverfront from the east side to the west side, it's going to remove storm and sanitary cross-connection issues and decrease inflow and infiltration. It's a long project of duration and length along the river. We're putting a large amount of money into this project, and what it'll really do for us is reduce the maintenance in the future. Another project I want to talk about is East 53rd Street reconstruction and widening. This year we're doing from Brady Street to Eastern. Next year we'll do from Eastern to Elmore Avenue. We listen. We're committed to providing the best streets possible to our community. Another thing going on down here is the railroad. You saw during the flood last year that they raised the railroad. So the concern from citizens, access to our riverfront. There are 5 different crossings. There will be permanent rail crossings. Right now they're temporary, but we're working with the railroad. Our Public Works is dealing with this and negotiating. We will have permanent fixes at our crossings. Another project that you citizens asked us to do is find a consultant, a firm that can help us with what we're going to do in the future with flood mitigation, protection services, right? So we sent out an RFP, request for proposal, and we had a lot of firms say, pick me, I'd like to be your consultant. We've went through that process, we've scrutinized and evaluated, and we're to the point now where we're ready to select a firm to tell us or advise us on what to do with flood protection mitigation issues here along the entire riverfront from the east side to the west side through the downtown, in consultation with our Army Corps of Engineers. We think it's very important that they're part of the process. They have been part of the process. Last year when we had the flood, they did a very in-depth diagnosis and evaluation of what went wrong. So we're going to continue to work with our friends behind me at the Rock Island Arsenal and the Corps of Engineers. And we're going to bring in a consultant, and very shortly you'll see that work beginning so that we come up with a plan for you on how to mitigate floods going forward in the future of Davenport. And many of you guys, at least when I talked to some folks, didn't really realize we had a flood this year. It was about 18 and a half feet. Our city, our staff, our Public Works Department dealt with that, protected our downtown, protected other parts of the city, west side, west end. River went back to where it was, and we continue to do business. That's what we do here. We've been doing floods for a long time, but now we want someone to help advise us as we move forward into the future.
Public Works has over 350 employees and fills over 15,000 citizen requests annually. Citizens see Public Works employees daily when trash is collected, streets are repaired, public trees are trimmed, and countless other services. In In the over 60 square miles of Davenport, we collect solid waste from 32,000 households, maintain 675 miles of storm and sanitary sewer, plow and maintain over 1,000 lane miles of roads, maintain over 22,000 signs, as well as treating the wastewater that comes to our water pollution control plant.
So Davenport, as we talk about our high-performing government, it is very important that we make sure we thank some people that have done outstanding work, especially during COVID-19. Our first responders, police, fire, medic, ambulance, all those folks, our unions, all of our staff and employees here in Davenport. They've continued to serve our community in wonderful, unique ways. When we were asking some people to stay at home, these folks were going out into our community, making sure we're safe, and responding to you when you called. I also want to say how very proud I am of Davenport because we have many citizens that want to get involved in city government. We have over 13 boards and commissions, and the members of these boards and commissions are all volunteer Davenport residents. They take the time to help us help you, because without their work, without their time and effort, many of the things that the City Council has to consider would take much longer. It is so important to have these folks, your volunteer citizens of Davenport, serve on these boards and commissions. Thank you, volunteers, for your time and effort. So Davenport, as you know, your staff, the citizens, everybody is really resilient because just going back last year, we had the biggest flood ever in Davenport. Then we had COVID. We had some civil unrest. We had some things that we had to deal with. But as usual, Davenport just says, how can we help? What can we do? And we will get through this together. So ladies and gentlemen, another commitment we've made here in Davenport and your city council has executed and your staff is building it as we speak, is Gabe's Play Village here at Vanderveer Park. The thing we have is the Miracle Field up at Prairie Heights. So kids can play baseball and run around. And again, all inclusive, so all children can enjoy our parks. I'm so proud that Davenport commits to having access for all children. Obviously, another thing going on right now is the census. You've heard a lot about it. I'm asking you, if you haven't participated in it, to please get out and fill in the census. But I wanted to just take a moment and thank our Mayor Pro Tem, Alderwoman McGinnis, for her leadership in trying to get everyone in Davenport to participate, because this is very important, the census.
The 2020 census is really important to the city of Davenport. This is something our country's been doing since 1790, and in 2010, unfortunately, a lot of people were not counted, particularly in our urban core areas. It's very important to the city. It determines how many federal funds are dispersed, affordable housing, roads from the state level, free school lunches, Pell Grants, education grants, services for seniors, all of this, huge number of programs that are tied to census dollars. And when you're undercounted, you don't get those dollars into your city, and our residents suffer.
So another amazing project coming to Davenport in the near future is Viking River Cruises. So as you see behind me, our wonderful Mississippi River, one of our greatest assets in our community, Viking River Cruises is going to dock right behind me here at Heritage Park in 2022. I want to thank many of our hidden heroes that are working hard in our community. For example, some of the lunch ladies that are giving out free meals to our school children every day, our crossing guards, our volunteers who help in our parks, our neighborhood leaders that just volunteer to make our community better. Thank you, Hidden Heroes. So Davenport, you should be proud of our police department and your city and city council who has taken public safety serious. We want to provide, whether it's our police or fire or public works, quite frankly, anyone who's providing services to our citizens, the tools and techniques and ability to work and do their job more effectively. In public safety, and specifically to our police department, the city council a few months ago invested in a system called the NIBIN system. And here today, I'm showing you an example of that, because sometimes we talk about, hey, we need money for this, and it's really going to help. I want to stand here today and tell you that our police department actually has it. We've used it a lot. It is such a good tool to help in the investigation, especially our concentration with gun crimes. So the NIBIN system, as you see here, we have specialists that work on this, and we work with our partners in the federal systems.
The NIBIN technology that we acquired about a year and a half ago now, we're able to use that for shooting scenes, and we're able to connect scenes to each other. So if a gun was used at more than one crime scene, that technology allows us to match the shell casings or the cartridges that were used at each one of the scenes to a particular gun, so the same gun. So in other words, like in real life incidents here, we were able to connect 4 or 5 different shooting scenes to the same gun, which allows our investigators to narrow down suspects.
We used to have to send our casings in a gun-related incident, maybe to Des Moines or other places, and it would take months to get any relationships with people or evidentiary indications back. Now we can get that turned around in less than a day.
The NIBIN technology that Davenport purchased and that we're currently using, we have opened that up for law enforcement throughout the Quad Cities. So all of the law enforcement agencies in the Quad Cities are using our system, so we're able to better connect criminal activity throughout the Quad City region.
So folks, also another piece of our public safety effort is our police department has a great relationship with the Department of Justice and other, as I talked about before, federal partners. We get grants and work through them to help us enhance our, whether it's either personnel or tools that we need, and our chief and our police department work with them, whether it's through investigations, especially gun crime related incidents. We have a great relationship and know that your police department either is using and gathering tools or actually establish relationships.
The Public Safety Partnership is a program through the Department of Justice and the Bureau of Justice Assistance. So we collaborate and we work on prevention of gun crimes and violent crimes, as well as the improving investigations and systems throughout our agency. And the sole purpose is to lower violent crime in our area. We're 1 year into this 3-year process. We're just getting ready to start our 2nd year. We have had 2 assessments by outside eyes coming in, one to look at our crime analysis program, and as well as how we do non-fatal shooting investigations. And so we're waiting for reports back from that, and then we'll be able to adjust our programs based on the findings of those assessments.
So, ladies and gentlemen and citizens of Davenport, another thing you should be proud of, our investment continuing in public safety is with our fire department. We bought, the city council approved the purchase of the land where the old Chi-Chi's used to be for the relocation of Station 3. It will improve response times to the north central part of our city.
The last 12 months have been very successful for the Davenport Fire Department. During that 12-month period, we were able to acquire 3 rigs, and this is based on a rig replacement schedule that was set up by previous fire administrations and also city staff, and with the help of the elected officials, we were able to move forward with that. Last winter, we were able to secure 2 new fire engines. They replaced fire engines that were 13 to 15 years old and had over 130,000 miles on them. Even though these engines are no longer frontline rigs, they are still going to be put into reserve status and used throughout day-to-day operation of the fire department. We were also able to secure another 100-foot aerial to replace our aerial that was 24 years old. Behind me is the new Truck 1. We will be putting that in service here middle of summer, and this 100-foot aerial will be frontline rig that we use for daily operations. Fire department apparatus replacement program has been developed so we can make sure that we maintain a safe, and effective, and reliable response apparatus force for the city of Davenport. Over the last year, the fire department has also secured a site for our new training facility. With our training facility, we were able to acquire over 2 acres of land on city-owned property that we could go ahead and move our burn building, our OSHA training prop, and have a new training center built so that we can make sure that our firefighters are trained efficiently throughout the year. It is very important that we actually have a burn building because we have to have live fire training on a regular basis in a safe and controlled environment on an annual basis to make sure our firefighters are proficient in doing the skills that they need to keep our community safe.
In light of the national conversation about policing throughout the United States, the Davenport Police Department, we are going through a self-assessment of our policies and our practice. And I think the interesting thing for our community to know is that we're constantly in a self-evaluating process. We are an accredited agency through CALEA, and through that process, it allows professional people throughout the United States who are trained to look at policing policies, to look at our organization consistently. So there's every 4 years there's an evaluation process through CALEA, and where we're go for a reaccreditation. However, every year there is an evaluation process, and we're going through that process now. In the month of July, we will be having our 1-year evaluation for that. And for us, it's really outside eyes looking at what we do and how we do it. So we've been going through that for over 15 years here in Davenport. We're in a really good place with that. With that said, we also have open minds on how we police. We want our community's input on how we police, and we're always looking to get better. We often change the way we do things based on court decisions, based on new trends in law enforcement, whatever the state of the art is. So we're always looking to get better, and we'll continue to do that. We're also working with various community groups, community leaders. We are having conversations about recent events in the country to see how they affect police and community relations here in Davenport, here in the Quad Cities. And we'll continue to do that. We are going to look at not just policing, but what other systemic things affect policing.
We have much to be proud of this year. We have accomplished a lot and continue to work hard to make Davenport the wonderful community that it is. I want to take a moment and thank city staff who have made all these projects possible. We manage our budget and we ensure your tax dollars are spent wisely. We put the priorities and focus on what you ask us to do. Be proud, Davenport. I also want to thank our many community partners who work tirelessly to make our city a wonderful place to live, work, and play. These partners make up the fabric of who we are as a community. Our schools play an integral part in our community and our future, as Davenport relies on our schools and the wonderful job they do educating Davenport's children. We are a city that welcomes all. We embrace the diversity of our community and strive to make Davenport a safe, stable, and welcoming city for everyone. Whether you come to Davenport to start a family, start a business, or simply enjoy all the amenities Davenport has to offer, everyone has a place in Davenport.
So Davenport, I've talked about a lot of things in this State of the City address, but the most important thing for you to know is we're moving forward. We've been very resilient throughout the last year, but you will see that Davenport is this great city, and next year and the years to come, all the wonderful things that will happen and make you proud of what we do.